Alright, good morning and Happy New Year, everybody. This is Schrödinger from Raging Bull, and I'm doing a video review or recap of a few attacks of the last war that we had against a Russian clan, and specifically I want to look at Dale's and Shanif's attacks on Town Hall 9s. There are two 3-star attacks in there. One of them actually is a 2-star attack on number 2, and then a cleanup by Shanif to get a 3-star. Very similar attack, just a few details different, and I think it's instructive to look at that and to see why the one worked and the other one did not. And then the 3-star attacks on I think which were both max attacks. Let's look at them first. So first, what we're going to do is look at, oh thanks Jason, first we're going to look at, this was the last war, so we won it, 54 to 45, that's well done. So there's this attack on number 3, which was successful by Shanif, but before Dale had tried to attack and just get a 2-star, and it was a GoHo, which this base was just calling for it, GoHo, as I was also saying in the scout of the base. But here's the replay. We can see, I'll just pause for a second, we can see that this is the north is your entry route for a kill squad, because it gives you access to the queen and to the clan castle. Also takes the giant bomb that's up there out, and then you can essentially hog the rest. Now, one thing that I want to say up front is that in both cases, both in Dale's attack as well as in Shanif's attack, you waited for a very long time to start your hogs. So your kill squad was essentially dead at the time you started the hogs, and I think that doesn't have to. You don't have to wait so long with your hogs. You can actually start them earlier, as soon as the queen is and the clan castle are being taken care of, or even just being tackled. Then you can start your hogs in order to keep the whole thing moving. And the clan, you must not forget that your kill squad is also something that tanks for your hogs. So you have 2 golems in there that are very tanky and that can pull a lot of firepower or focus a lot of firepower on them while the hogs are doing their thing. Now, I think the major difference between Dale and Shanif's attack, well, for one, Shanif has higher level heroes, which obviously helps, but you will see they didn't do too much of a difference, because the kill squad essentially did the same thing in both cases. But then I think in this case it's really the hog deployment. Dale elected to split up the hogs and bring the first group of hogs from this quadrant and then the second group of hogs from this quadrant. And in the scout I said, if you don't have to do surgical because of giant bombs that are somewhat placed like in a strange way, and you just don't want your whole pack of hogs to go run over them, then keep them together. I think it's better to keep the hogs together, especially if you just have, well, if you have like 22 hogs. It's not a lot. There's still the kill squad in this case couldn't do too much of the total base, so there was still, in defense-wise, there was still more than 50% of the defenses up. So keep the hogs together. They will just do faster work, and you can share the heals more easily between them. So let's just look at Dale's attack. It was a good attack. It was the idea was exactly the right one. Here, kill squad is coming from the top. Golems are coming, nice funneling there. The wall breakers are coming in. Here's the first giant bomb that goes off. Also, a good idea to choose a jump and not 4 quakes, because the kill squad is small enough that they can all take the jump, and there's no added benefit from having this permanently open. So that works well. Here, also I'm just going to quickly pause here. Something that I've observed a couple of times now is like Dale dropped 2 poisons onto the clan castle. If you have your kill squad coming in there, there's no need for 2 poisons on top of each other, because the poison, or the idea of the poison there is not, or the major benefit of it is not the damage that it deals, but it's to slow down the attack speed of the queen and of the loons especially, and the dragon that's in there. So they can't deal so much damage by themselves. So that's the idea of the poison spell there. The firepower of your wizards and the queen that are coming in is by far enough to take quickly care of the clan castle. So especially when you're using hogs, keep that second poison for your raid, because skeleton traps can be very, very annoying in a hog raid if your troops are thinning out, and then you can't get rid of those skeletons. Okay, so this is one little thing that I'm noticing there. This is not a major mistake by any means, but it's just a couple of little things that didn't work out so well. Okay, let's keep going here. So here, clan castle is essentially down. It's moving further in. I'm going to zoom a little bit here. So, but you can see here. So, not a lot is happening at the moment. So, right now, those expos are trained onto the kill squad that is coming in. The mortar, which is not huge, but then also this wizard tower here, and everything over here is trained onto the kill squad. So that's the perfect time to launch your hogs. Maybe even a little earlier than this. So I think this would be a good time now. So how much time has passed? 45 seconds about in this raid. Well, it's probably a little less. And now you can drop your hogs, and Dale chose to bring them from here, so that would be an okay starting point. 2-finger drop just towards this and this defense, and then they would actually converge here onto the wizard tower, and you would omit triggering that giant bomb, or you can start them from over here, which would work just as fine. But essentially in support of your kill squad, so that you take out defenses that are focused on the kill squad, which at the same time gives you the benefits that they are not shooting at your hogs. Okay, so let's keep going. And really here, so all that's happening now is all those skelly traps and all those defenses are firing at your golems, and now they start picking up on the queen. So this is all wasted time on the one hand, and then also it's wasted tankage that you don't have now. And now the queen is down, and those expos start firing at the hogs that are coming in, and yeah, it's a bit unfortunate here. They run out of the heal here, and they don't get over to that heal anymore because it has run out already. So he needs to drop a third heal and doesn't have anything else left for the rest of the base over there. And the Teslas are actually doing quite a bit of damage. Sorry, there's a little bit of commotion going on. I'll be right back. Okay, back again. So I paused this one here. So at this point, you can see that the hogs are essentially gone. There's one more giant bomb here. There's no more heal left. And there's still too many point defenses especially up. And then this wizard tower, which can also wear down your pack of hogs, so they don't stand us a chance to finish this raid as a 3-star. Sorry again. Alright, where was I? So, yeah, the hogs are at this point essentially dead. And, well, Dale, I know you said you did bring the wrong troops in the clan castle. I think you're right. If those had been hogs, that raid would have probably, let's say, likely been a 3-star. They would have supported that last group of hogs coming in from here, and probably gotten rid of the defenses. Might have still been a little tricky there. So I agree. Also, waited very long with that clan castle to deploy it. Again, I think if a larger group of hogs had been there in the beginning, so with the additional hogs from the clan castle, maybe that whole thing would have worked out better. Again, it's not a huge mistake. Let's just see this run out. There were no, as I said, there were no huge mistakes in this attack. Just a few details, I think, that if taken care of, will lead to nicer results. So there's still some time there, because as long as those wizards are cleaning up, but eventually they are going to be taken out too, as we can see. So let's just let this run out, and they still get to the town hall, which of course in this case was, as it has been 3-starred afterwards, wasn't too big of a deal, but in other cases it's good if your troops can still at least get the town hall and get a, as in this case, a high percentage 2-star. That at least works well for the overall war result and the destruction percentage. Okay, so this was Dale's attack on this, and then Shanif went and did essentially the same attack. He brought the kill squad from the top, and then the hogs from the side, he chose the other side to bring them in. But I think really here the difference was that he kept the hogs together, and that and he had a number more of them, because I think he brought the golem in the clan castle. So had Dale had the golem in the clan castle, or hogs in the clan castle, and they would have had the same number, namely 28 hogs to tackle that base. I think that's a fair number. So let's see that one run out too, and you will notice the same thing. Actually, he starts here quite nicely with the arches in the corners, because those silly little builder huts there can give you a headache later on. But yeah, very nicely done in terms of the kill squad entry, just as Dale before. But you can see it's the same thing as before. So the kill squad here is marching in. Now they are locked onto the queen. Not quite yet, but they're starting, I think about now. They're locked onto the queen and the clan castle troops. Everything's going in. He is patient with the heal, with the chump, and now come the golems, and some wizards are in there too. Actually, in this case, you could have kept at least 1 or 2 wizards for the cleanup later. And I think now, and again, so now would have been a great time to start your hogs. It would have, it's almost getting overdue at this point already. All of those defenses here are focusing and are aimed onto the kill squad in the center, so they are not going to fire at your hogs, and your hogs would take the benefit of this tanking if you launch them now. But also here, the kill squad essentially runs out of steam before the hogs are being started. We'll see that. Yep, so the queen uses her ability, and he pre-heals the area. That's nicely done, because he essentially sends the hogs right onto the double giant bomb. I think through the deployment you could avoid that first giant bomb to be triggered even. But here the hogs essentially, you can see they stay together, and now they can nicely share the heals. Here's a little bit of an awkward pathing here, because a few of them branch off here to the bottom quadrant, and they don't get a lot done. Well, actually they take down this one defense there, but then the main group of hogs is still working up here, and he still has one last heal, which he drops there at the last giant bomb position, nicely pre-healed, so no issue at all for the hogs. They all get the blow, but they all are healed up to perfect health. And now this is how many hogs left? I don't know, like 15 or so, maybe a little fewer, but there's no way how this can still fail. So I think really here, by just keeping the hogs together, that was a successful raid, and then also for having the extra 6 hogs. Obviously that was also a help, but I really think the deployment in this case was the bigger factor. So again, my recommendation, first of all, very good work, both Dale and Shanif. I think my recommendation though would still be, if you do a GoHo or a GoHo Wee and there is no need for surgical hogging them, then keep them together. And if you do surgical, and I think that's actually the difficult part of the surgical hogging, is to properly place your heals so that your hogs get the maximum benefit out of it. That's the hardest part about the surgical deployment, and that's why, if you don't have to do it, better stay with the classical 2-finger drop. Try to place them in a smart way, so you can pre-trigger double bombs or single bombs if you have to, but keep them together, as I said. All right, so much about this, and here's the 3-star one.